Hey, what's up everybody? This is Meath24, and today I'm taking a look at the Figma Samus figure. This is something that I picked up at Colossal Con a couple weeks ago, and I was really excited to find it, and for a very reasonable price too. A lot of times with these Figmas, once they go through the first batch, the price kind of spikes on internet stores and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if this is from the original batch or not, if this is one of like the later re-releases of this thing. I know they did a re-release with the Skyward Sword Link. I don't know if they did for Figma Samus or not. But anyways, this design is based on the other M design, so it lacks the little spikes on the shoulders that you have in the Prime games, and is more of a sleek, slender design. It's not my favorite Samus design, admittedly, but there's only like this and maybe one other Samus figure we've gotten over the years. I think maybe back in the day when they were doing the very limited posability Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask figures, and I forget who made those. But back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, there were some action figures for Nintendo characters. So there may have been a Samus figure with that. I don't remember for sure. But if it was probably based off the Super Metroid design, because that was the most recent game at the time. Anyways, this is like the figure that's most easily accessible now. And I really like the way that it looks. I mean, like I mentioned, Figma Samus being based off the other M design, not exactly my favorite, but it is pretty cool the way that they sculpted the legs and the little details there in the chest, and the paint job overall looks fantastic. I like the shiny metallic look to it, the thrusters there on the back, and all the joints and all that. So with typical Figma stuff, you do get a stand that pegs into the back there, and you can adjust that as you want. Taking a look at the box here, I've taken everything out of there, so you just got the plastic inside, but you might be able to see through the back there that it does say Other M on the back, and that's got like a little cardboard cutout thing around it. So if you want to pull it out as like a display piece, you could do that. You got the Figma logo here on the front, official Nintendo seal. There's Figma Samus on the top. A front shot down the side. Other side, it's more of an action pose. And then on the back here we have a bunch of different poses of the figure shooting the blaster. We have the morph ball mode, which is a separate piece, and then all the different poses you can get and stuff, as well as the hand options. So with the typical Figma fanfare, you get your instruction booklet, but who needs to read that for a figure pretty simple like this, right? You do get a Figma little plastic bag to hold all your extra pieces on there, and there's white space there if you want to write the name of the figure that they go to. And then you get an extra like tree piece for all the extra hands. So you have the closed fist hand, you have an open palm hand with the fingers kind of splayed there, a relaxed open palm hand, a thumbs up hand, and a open fist hand there. And I'm not really sure what the open fist hand would be for, on this figure at least, because there's nothing that she would hold that would be that big of a deal. But you do get an alternate cap piece for the end of the arm cannon, and you have two like blast options. One's like the dual shot there, and then you have one as a single shot. And to swap that out, all you have to do is take the green piece here, slide it off, and slide the alternate one on, so you have more of an action pose. And it does hold out there pretty long, which is cool, and it doesn't weigh really anything because it's just, you know, pretty light plastic, so you can get that arm to stay up just fine. The joints are built really well, so that should be no problem whatsoever. And then the morph ball mode is a separate piece, stands alone like that. It's really really light, but it has some nice details on it. And of course there is a peg hole there on the back, so if you wanted to display the morph ball mode on the back and have the figure standing, you could do that. Personally, I don't much see the appeal of displaying the morph ball mode myself, but it's there if you want it, and is kind of a neat little addition for the figure. In terms of the posability for this Figma, the arms can rotate 360 no problem, and can only go up about that far, mainly because the shoulder armor bulk is going to prevent it from going up much higher. But you can see that there is a second joint inside of there from the shoulder to the arm. The elbows can bend about that far, not quite 180, but still a decent bend there. Go flush straight down, no problem. The wrists each have a little joint that goes back and forth on all the hands, and then obviously you can rotate them 360, no problem. The head will go up and down a little bit, as long as you don't pop it out of the socket there, but it does reattach just fine. and can rotate side to side. The fact that the back of the head comes down so far and the pipes here on the front by the face piece won't allow it to go 360 or anything, but still get some decent posability there. The torso joint can rotate 360 and kind of wobble around. The legs can go up about that far before it's going to start straining to pop off. It can go back about a similar distance. Can go out a decent amount there. Can bend at the knee with a double joint about that far, not quite 180. And then the ankles will rock side to side, go back quite a ways, go forward a little ways, and then the toes will go up and down as well. And while the posability on this figure is really quite good, I think the stand really does a lot for it, because you can do so much more with that peg attached to the back and not have to worry about the character falling over or anything, or weight issues, because really this figure doesn't weigh that much, and the weight that it does have is distributed pretty evenly, so you can do stuff like these basic running poses, to the more exciting action shots with the arm cannon blasting away at Kraid or Ridley or whatever foes Samus is facing down. So really, I would say I highly recommend this figure if you want a Samus figure that I think does the job well in terms of both accessories and posability. You get a lot of options here. It's a very simple figure, but it's really well done, as are most Figmas. And this is actually the first one I've owned, but I've seen a lot of positive reviews of them in the past, and I wouldn't mind looking into getting Skyward Sword Link in the future. Maybe do a little Smash Bros. Mashup here with Samus. But that's pretty much it for this review, and with that, I will see you guys next time.